Hi and welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben and this is my review for Netflix's original movie, Hillbilly Elegy. A Yale Law student drawn back to his hometown grapples with family, history, Appalachian values, and the American dream. So this film was interesting for me. My journey with this film is interesting. I've had this screener for, I think, near enough a month. I know a lot of reviewers have had this, and I made the mistake of watching a couple of critic reviews and film reviews that I respect. And across the board, it seems like, definitely when it comes to film critiques, they've not liked this film. They've said certain things like, this film has star-studded actors acting for Oscars, so their performances are Oscar worthy but doesn't have any heart, and I'm not sure I agree with this. So this film stars Amy Adams, Haley Bennett, Glenn Close, Frederica Pinto, Sonny Mowbray, Gabriel Basso. Those are the ones we concentrate on for the most part. And what you see in this story is basically about a young boy who you experience what he does and how he grows up and how you are willing him to try and escape his life, because his life is hard. His mother is a drug addict. It seems like the woman in his family have a curse of some sort, not like a physical curse, but the way they speak is that they're addicted to some sort of addiction, and the way life revolves around that is very interesting. And so you're willing them to finally get out of this rut that they're in, or on a fallback onto drugs, and help them go to rehab. And we're basically snapping in and out of J.D. Vance's life. So we see him as a young kid, we see him trying to go to Yale, we see him in his various teens, and you get a view of what's happening. There's a lot of shouting and screaming and crying from Amy Adams, who's the mother. There's a lot of shouting and smoking from Glenn Close. There's a lot of shouty, cry stuff acting, and the performances are good. But I do have to agree with a lot of the critics when it comes to the heart of the film. So this is a film that I believe has been studied or read in schools or colleges, and so it's held with high regard. I think that it's like a memoir. People enjoy it. It's written really well, and so the translation to screen seems to have been done with the same sort of heart, but it also seems to lack heart. And I would agree with that, because although I thought the performances were excellent, like literally, I know this is Oscar bait. Like, if they don't get Oscar nods, then I'm sure that that's going to ruffle a few feathers, because it definitely seems to be that way. However, there were only 2 points where I was really kind of invested with the character motivations or the character movements, what was happening on screen. And a lot of the time it's very traumatic. It's to do with drugs, it's to do with coming of age, to do with things that we all deal with, but in a kind of harsher way, in a rooted in mothers who are seemingly to be tormented. Both mothers, we have a couple of generations here, and we have abuse as well. So they're tackling all these themes that are already dark, and the way it's scripted and acted, I thought, was good. It just feels like it does lack heart. The part of this film that stood out to me from the beginning was the score. I love the score. It's one of those scores that you were like, who composed that? And one of them is Hans Zimmer. I know there's 2 composers, and I was just like, wow, that's very different to the norm of what you normally hear from Hans Zimmer, but it does carry the film sometimes. It gives a kind of journey story that you're going on. It's definitely a character, and I really appreciated that, because I thought, yeah, that is a strong defining score that kind of sits there, but sometimes it's needed to spur that the film on into the next kind of scene, and it really does do that without overstaying its welcome, without being overbearing. Some scores can just be like, have a huge, like they have no right being in the film. This is not that. This is perfectly situated, but it does almost give a grander scale to a film that is fairly small, which I appreciated. There's no normal Hans Zimmer horns and stuff, but it's definitely like orchestral pieces, and I really appreciated it. I thought. So then it comes down to the direction, which is Ron Howard, and I'm a bit hit and miss with Ron Howard. There are a couple of films I really love, and then he'll do a couple that I just didn't enjoy. That's just my opinion. I know there are like diehard Ron Howard fans. Please, just don't hate me. That's just my opinion. I don't love every Ron Howard film. There are a few I really love. This one, I do feel like the direction maybe needed to be more grounded in some of the character developments and the way they were The way that he wanted his actors to act certain moments rather than more shouty stuff could have been developing more character in-depth moments. I know there's a lot that they left out. I would have liked to see more of JD specifically. I think there are moments we could have delved into deeper that would have helped, perhaps even in the future relationship that he has, and given a more solid kind of grounding, because you really want to love these characters, but it's really hard at times to get to grips with what they're going through. You know, you should be able to relate regardless of, you know, whether you've had this going on in your life. If you can't get your audience to kind of fall in love with your characters and really feel for their plight, then you're missing a beat. And that seems to be the consensus with most critics, and I hate to go along with most critics, but I have to agree. So I think it's filmed well, I think it's acted well, I think the score is excellent. So on those three things, if I said that to you, you'd be like, oh, okay, he's going to give it a great score, because it feels like there is no heart. I didn't really care about their plight, so I got to the end of the film and I thought, oh, that's a good film. So here's the test of a good film. Will I watch it again? I don't think I would. I don't think I need to. I've seen it. It's one that I'll probably forget very quickly. So I'm going to give it a C. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this film. Did you love it? I know if you have, chat to me in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching this. But most of all, until next time, remember, live long on Tuesday.